What's up, y'all? What is up? What is up? What's up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? All of that good shit. Shondos across the building, from corner to corner, wall to wall. Hello. Oh, wrong side. Hello. How is everyone? Hey, Quintessential. What's good, Castro? What's going on, Watermelon Sugar? Let me throw some dollars at you, Annie. Hey, L Love. Hey, Ebby. What's going on, everybody? What's going on to all my bushmen and women, all my angels in the clouds, and everything in between? Hey, L Preston. What's going on? Hey, BR Burns. What is going on? Mm, mm, mm. Don't mess with your good music. I interrupted your music. You was over there jamming until I messed up your music. Hey, Nappy Child. Hey, Tracy Chappelle. What's going on, everybody? What is going on? I am here. I am here. I am here. I had one of you all, one of my wonderful subscribers, who hit me up in my Instagram DMs, and they was like, "L Teddy, L Teddy, I know you've been seeing all of the fuckery that's been going on and that's being said all over social media and even all over the YouTube streets." I said, "What are you talking about? I've been over here. I just got back from home, Miami, and um, I saw, I've been watching things in silence, and had a great time too. Had a great time. Anyway, but I said, "What are you talking about?" They was like, "First, your boo thing, Lil Nas X." I said, "What?" I said, "Yes, I saw the performance." Then it was like, that has sparked a lot of, so basically they were saying that sparked a lot of conversation about, him. Every time he comes on the screen, it sparks conversation. It's nothing in that cup but some what's the name of the water by Power Water. It's really good with some ice. Hey, Mary, 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 why you bugging? You got to be of a certain age to know that. Anyway, so, and they were like, and so I perused the YouTube streets and I saw people doing lives talking about the gay agendas, people making videos talking about which comes first, are you black or are you gay first? the gay agenda, the fact that Lil Nas X is now the worst human being on the face of the planet. Like, I have some things to say. And basically, what the person said to me, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact verbiage that they used. But they were like, "Can you please just come out here and give a response, have a responsible conversation about this? Can Because we need somebody to come on and have a really responsible conversation about this." I said to myself, "Self, do I want to go down this rabbit hole? I could be doing a whole lot of things right now." And I answered that question by saying, well, being the person that you are, Elton, you kind of do owe it to invoke some intellect intellect into the conversation, having a rational conversation about this. Not that I'm all knowing and all right about anything, but at least have some, depth of knowledge. Snack fund. I ain't even got no snacks here, y'all. Yeah, we might need to collect for the snack fund. I don't even got no snacks. It's some little pretzels over there that I had bought, but I ain't really care for them. So, do I got some chips? I think I got some plain Lays over there. I can pull together a snack or two. It's always a snack. But y'all know I be liking to introduce y'all to snacks, and y'all know at some point my sugar levels might start to, spike, and I might need shouts out to the 27 in the chat. Y'all know I love 27. Anyway, so I said, let me add my, you know, shtick to all of this. I will entertain questions, comments, and anything in between in the chat while I'm getting cussed out on my phone by really be. Anyway, and she better not come in that chat and say something. I dare her come in that chat and say something to me while she cussing me out through text message. God, you gotta eat through me, watermelon sugar child. You gonna eat vicariously through me. So let's talk about this, y'all. So, ooh, shit, I don't care. See what I'm saying? Y'all see how I got her trained over there? Y'all see how I got her trained? See how she came out the bushes? When you got them trained, that's what they do. Anyway, y'all, my special avocado dip. I got a special avocado. I do make a mean guacamole, which is like it's really like a pico de gallo with avocado in it, but I still call it guacamole. Anyway, let me get back to what I'm saying. Right, you see how I keep, you see how she's still cussing me out, y'all, in my text messages that keep popping up on my screen. So let's delve into this. Let's delve into it. Let's be responsible about this. Let's really delve into this. Parts of this, this has been an ongoing conversation. If you've been following me and watching Silly Saturday for years now, we've attacked many facets of this conversation. If you're new to the channel, you may not have heard all of it. Go check out some of them old early Silly Saturdays, 'cause we really used to go into some stuff. But mm, it becomes interesting when you watch other people try to pontificate on these things. And I'm talking about the people in and out of the Rainbow Coalition. Because let's be clear, just like we have black folks around here that are very ill informed and very whacked out with regard to their ideologies or their version of history and the truth of how things are. Within the Black community, we have the same thing in the Rainbow Coalition, and it's definitely in the Rainbow, um, Black Rainbow, a part of the Rainbow Black delegation of the Rainbow Coalition. Now, I'm gonna be. Let me preface. Let me preface. Hold on. Let me take a drink. Oh, I'm gonna say some stuff here that's gonna piss some people off in the Black hetero delegation, in the Black gay delegation. It's just gonna, what's up, Raphael? It's just gonna be some stuff that's gonna piss people off. So, but we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna have the conversation. If I feel up to it, I might drop a link or two. If I don't, then I won't. Is how I feel. But um, there's many different assets, not assets, facets to this. And some of it needs to be addressed. Now, when we talk about, let me get the Lil Nas X part of it out of the way first. Because when people go at Lil Nas X and try to attack him for everything he does, they are the quintessential mouse whose head is damn near decapitated from its body because you let the mouse trap capture you trying to go at the cheese, and you over there so focused on the cheese you forgot that this was a whole trap, and now you trapped and your damn near your head then got pulled away, decapitated from your body damn near because you were stupid enough to fall for the trap. Because if you are allowing to let Lil Nas X get into your system, then child, if he's bothering you like that, you fell for the bait. That I'll say it. Yeah, you might need to check your IQ score. Let me just make that public service announcement. If you know you are beneath a certain IQ range, you may want to check out now because this may be above you. This may be above you. I'm just saying. But let's just be clear. Lil Nas X is a professional troll. He's a troll. And he trolls professionally. And he knows exactly what to do, what to say to cause controversy and to get people to do what he wants them to do, which is watch him, I should say. What am I drinking on now? Just a little bit of the cranberry mango. That's all. Um, Nothing alcoholic, not yet. Anyway, um, I'm gonna even say something about what you just said, Tracy. Now people keep talking about, oh, everything's over sexualized, this, that, and the third, dot, 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 dot. That's a part of being young. Our grandparents' generation heard it from their predecessors when in the 20s and 30s, because they showed some leg, and now this is over sexualized. You know what I'm saying? There has been sexuality in music going back. You talking about when you had the I mean, going back to the 50s when they used to, gyrate their hips, and people was like, oh, that's over sexual and this, that, and the third. Even my generation in the 90s and stuff like that. Hello. Do y'all not remember the shit that we used to do in our 20s? Hello, freaknik generation. It baffles the mind that the freaknik generation are now policing what is over sexualized. Like, really, really, the freaknik generation is having this conversation about over sexualization. Doesn't bother me. That shit been going on forever. Every generation has their own variation version of it. It is what it is. People are sexual beings. When you're in your 20s, when you're young, you're oozing with hormones. It's a physiological thing. You got hormones popping out. It's a part of life. So when people get all, oh, it's the over sexualization. Oh, dear God. The sexualization is going to be there. Hey, Miss Queenie, that ain't going nowhere. We had over sexualization when we were young. Sure did. Was here for all of it. Had no part, made no bones about it. And what did our parents do? Oh, we don't want to see all that sex on stage. Do I need to go back to our parents' age when you had the Teddy P's of the world basically giving up? You know how much meat they used to purposely flaunt on stage with their little tight little pants, women taking off their underwear and throwing it on stage and all kinds of stuff. Y'all better stop playing with me. Y'all better stop playing with me. Y'all better stop playing with me. So, if it's gonna happen anyway, if it's gonna happen anyway, and you have the young man is 20, what, 22, 21 and 22. I'm gonna tell you, a man who is 21 or 22, gay, straight, white, black, blue, or purple, is a sexual being, is a ball of hormones and sex, and thinks about sex all day, every day. Let's just be clear. Why you think all of the straight little rappers, what they have all over their videos? Women, scantily clad, half naked. It's a part of life. Get over it. So with the Lil Nas X, people talking about that doesn't move me because people gonna do that anyway. They were ready, guns are blazing, and if they get that bothered, then they fell for the bait. He's not one bit bothered. Matter of fact, he's probably glad that you are making a big deal of it. But now that it's morphed into this conversation that people want to have about that's an ongoing recurring thing. You know, when people want to talk about the gay agenda and what it means to or how it's hurting the black family, or the fact that you have to, what's going on, Jason, make a decision, are you black first or are you gay first? Well, let me pull back a little curtain for you. When we're born, you know what we are first? A person. We're not black, white, blue, or purple. Hell, you don't even know you're black, white, blue, or purple until somebody makes that known to you. Think about that. Only thing you know, that's mommy, that's daddy, that's grandma, that's that. Now you know you have a family, yes. But black, white, blue, or purple, if nobody ever told you, oh, you're black, you wouldn't. That concept is something that is taught to you. That's ingrained in you as you're growing up with your parents. It's your upbringing, which is why you have some people who, even in the black community, you have black people who say, "Oh, well, that person is technically black, but they don't really have a black experience because no." You see how that goes? That whole thing. But the point that I'm bringing up is this: you, a person that is um a black member of the Rainbow Coalition is not black first. They're not gay first. They are just themselves first. You are a human being first. That's all you are first. You are simply you. Now, all of this about, oh, I'm black first. I'm No, you're not. You're you first. Period. Now, when people say, "Oh, well, you got to be black first," why? Because technically, it's a known fact that being homosexual is genetic. It's part of who you are. It's a part of your DNA. Just like you're born with brown hair or black hair, you were born with the gene that said, "Hey, you're gonna be like some peen or booty or buginas or whatever you want to call it." The frequency of the alleles within your genetic makeup made you that. In the same way, the frequency of the alleles within your lineage and heritage and chromosomal makeup said that you were going to be born with more melanated skin. There's no such animal as saying, "Oh, I'm black first. Oh, I'm gay first. Oh, I'm this first." You are you first. How about that? Because the same way, all of you know how people make this argument. Oh, well, I can't take off my skin. And when people see me, they know that I'm black. And so that's why I'm black first. Do you? The first black, a whole lot of things were a whole lot of black people who you could not tell simply looking at them whether or not they were black. And that's why they got to be the first black X or the first black Z or the first black Y, because they could mix and mingle in the white race and was not, you couldn't tell that they were actually black until it got to a point where, us as black people started to get more, uh, rights, and we fought for our the ability to just live and be ourselves, to be amongst free people in these yet to be United States of America. But that whole notion, "Oh, well, when you see me, you see that I'm black first, and so that's why they got to be first." Come on now, all black people. There are some black people who can, mix and mingle with the whites, and you would not know. So that's not a given, and it doesn't make them less black. Which is why they are the first black this, the first black that. It's a lot of them. It still doesn't mean they're not black. They don't get to pick and choose. "Oh, I'm not black no more. I'm not." They are. So that whole argument is out of the window. You are who and what you are. First, that's first and foremost. I've seen members of the Rainbow Coalition today going in on Lil Nas X, saying that he's doing too much. You're overcompensating for your the fact that you're just getting comfortable with your sexuality. So you're doing too much, and you overcompensating, and this, that, and the third, dot, 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 X, Y, Z, A, B, and C. Here's my issue with that. That's inherent in a whole lot of some of the same people that are making that argument did the same thing when they first came into their own acceptance of their sexuality. They dived right into the deep end and began to explore because they had to come to terms with, okay, let me figure this out. Let me dive in the pool. Okay, do I like the shallow end? Do I like the deep end? Do I like the pool real cold, or do I like the pool kind of warm? Do I like, you got to know. And so there is this just diving in and figuring it out and getting over there. And just sometimes, is there some overcompensated? Perhaps, but you're allowed to do that because you done missed out on time and you got to make up for lost time. Here's the dangerous part. Here's the dangerous part. Now, this is where I got to tap the hand of my members of the coalition. And this is where they not going to like me. People going to say something. People going to get all up in arms, and then they feel as that I don't give a shit. Over the years, I'll say like this: you have black people as a whole, I'm just talking about just general black people. I ain't talking about gay, straight, or anything else. You have, by and large, black people, the trend has been more black people have gone and decided to educate themselves and get educated and go to college. I ain't saying necessarily you got to go to college, but go to a point where they have educated themselves, where they can amass a decent living, be it you learn a trade, be it you start off with a company, and maybe you started off working for the local grocery store. And by the time you turn 30, you was one of the assistant store managers because you have that work ethic and experience that have caused you um um to get to a certain level where you've begun to become management. You went to college and things like that. That's what the statistics have said, that that's what we as a people have been doing, you know always, getting better than our predecessors, our parents, and so forth. Many of us, our parents or grandparents may not have gone to college, but they made sure we went to college. And everybody else in the family, they had to go to college, or they had to have a certain level of livelihood with their avocations and so forth. I would venture to tell you, here's just being brutally honest, within, and I don't want to speak in extremes or definites, but when you look at a lot of the Rainbow Coalition and black specifically, I'm just going to speak for the black gay men. There's been a going down of that. There's a less appreciation for not just education, but work ethic, so to speak, in the manners in which we know would produce longevity in terms of livelihoods, or in terms of being able to sustain oneself. And being able to sustain oneself for a long period of time means is a couple different ways. Maybe, like I said, you use the track where you didn't necessarily go to school, but you start with the company and work your way from the ground up, and eventually, because of your time and efforts and energy vested in that company, it has residual basis in terms of you being a better off person, you being able to have the type of life that may be better than your parents. You have the track where you say, I'm going to go to school and I'm going to become credentialed, and I'm going to use that to get me in the door too, so that I can start off at a higher level and continue to move up. You don't see a lot of that. Whereas when I was younger in the community, and I look at the things that because there was less acceptance, and because there was less uh, people being able to just be openly out and unapologetic and say, I don't give a shit. There was this sense and this air of, I got to do something. I got the double, is, so I'm not only black, but I'm also black and gay. And there's just too many strikes against me. So I got to do something that's going to help to mitigate all of those obstacles and obstructions and those forces that are fighting against me. But as those obstacles began to be less arduous, I didn't say they went away, but they began to be less arduous or less formidable. There became the less people who felt the need to go the extra mile to prove themselves, to say, nah, I'm gonna stick with this job. Nah, I'm gonna go off and go to school. Um, and so forth like that. So within, and the point that I'm making is, within the community, you have less and less individuals that have that type of um, knowledge through education, or experience through longevity and work ethic and things like that. And so their vantage point on things is lessened. Their views are kind of skewed because there's just not those type of experiences that they have. And so I say that to say this: they'll put out statements and they'll make these asinine, delusional statements and go out there, and you look at them and you go, okay, we just need you to shut up and not try to speak for the rainbow. I don't need you to be an aficionado on the rainbow community. The problem is those are the people the media wants to go toward. The media wants to gravitate toward generally two types. Okay, and even you all as viewers and subscribers, you fall victim to this. I'm telling you, you fall victim to this. There's generally two types that the media and the general society gravitate toward. It's the token sect. The tokens, the ones um, who are the snow bunnies, the ones who are black, but they're only black when it's convenient for the conversation. If it ain't convenient for the conversation, then they feel like they're lily white. They got their lily white husband, they got all their lily white friends, and if you ask them, they feel like they have the mantle of white privilege and breastplate of white supremacy on them. So those are the tokens. The other, right, right, like Don Lemon, exactly. The tokens who want to be black when they feel like it gets them brownie points, but when the camera go off, they don't want nothing to do with black. Definitely, when they go in their home and they go in the bedroom, they definitely don't want nobody black. When they within their close circle of friends, they the only black one. Them girls. And they become wildly popular. See Billy Porter, see Sean T, see RuPaul, see Don Lemon. It's a whole list of them. And it's okay that they are who they are. And I don't listen, I don't want to tell people who they can be friends with, who they can fall in love with, what they have to do. I'm just telling you the two types that they go for. Problem with that type is a lot of them did not come up in the traditional circles of the black gay experience. They were always in and around their white counterparts, wanting nothing to do with um, the lion's share of the black gay diaspora. So when you're going to them, looking to them to give you, you know, what the black gay community has to say about this, that's the wrong fucking answer. They don't know that. So that's the first type. The second type is the caricature segment. These are the people who fit all of the stereotypes. These are the caricatures. They're overly flamboyant. They got all of the catchphrases. They got every hey girl, hey that you could ever dream. One of the scary problems with the caricatures is not saying definitely, I'm not saying all, but a great number of them are what I was talking about earlier, where they are less informed, less educated, and the basis of their argument isn't well learned and well researched. And I'm not saying that education is everything, but sometimes when you do have um, when you are well traveled, when you do have a notion of the history of how things got to be, when you are researched and learned on and have been able to analyze the totality of situations, except looking through it from the skewed vantage point of how the people at the club reacted to a certain song at the gay club. It kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's limiting. So so the notion that people have of black gay men comes from the vantage point usually of those two individuals who are probably the last two individuals that you want to speak, because their views and vantage points on situations more often than not is very skewed and does not speak to the masses. It doesn't speak to the masses. So what you're going to end up happening is We talking a little bit about Lil Nas X, Joshua, but I'm talking about a lot of the conversations that have been peaked because of Lil Nas X. So the thing about it is this: to this day, American society only wants to embrace. Watch this. Watch this. Even as much as we know a lot of um, Black gay culture is permeating through Black culture and American society now. You want to know? Hey, Peaches. You know where? Want to know who they were listening to? The Black. See, the Black community wants to hear the caricatures because that's all they can think of when they think gay man. They think of the caricature. They think of the hey girl, hey. They think of the overly effeminate, and that's their whole vantage point of what it means to be gay. That's why they don't fuck with, and they can't get down with the bisexual man or the GL man because it shatters their whole notion of. So the black people want the caricature. White people want the token. And by them taking those individuals, even if I take the caricature, I'm taking a small segment, a skewed or with a skewed vantage point of what the experience is being black and gay. Or even if I have the token, I'm taking a small segment who have a very skewed view of what it means to be black and gay. Both of them self-serving. Because like I said earlier, if you black, your whole notion of being gay is the mainly effeminate and whatever. So that's all you want to know. That's all you gonna want to see. And even if you call yourself an ally, and you are, you always gravitate toward the caricature. If you're white, you still got your mantle of white privilege and your breastplate of white supremacy, and you're down for anybody who makes you seem better and makes black people seem worse. So you gravitating toward everything that the character, I mean, that the token has to tell you. Even though the token doesn't have experiences that speaks for most of just Black America, much less Black gay America, you don't care because you're not really caring about Black gay experience. You're not really caring about Black gay America. You just want to be able to put on your resume, oh, I know somebody that's black and I know somebody that's gay that checks two boxes. I done did my job. That's y'all reparations right there. Even on the side with black people. Oh, I got a friend that's real feminine and real gay. And by me having this friend and tolerating this cousin or this friend that's real feminine and gay, I done did my duty to the LGBTQIA. You can't say I'm a homophobe. When you still could very well be a homophobe. Because that person that is just overly uber gay doesn't represent the totality of the gay experience. They don't even represent the majority. Child. I told y'all I was gonna make some people mad. Let me see what y'all talking about in this chat. I'm way behind. Way behind. Let me see. Oh boy. Sorry about that. Uh Let me see. If your toilet seat still slams down, I don't want to hear a lot from you. Wait, toilet seat slamming down. Wait, how do we get the toilet seats, Jason? My personal connection to the alphabet community is more in the middle. Now that I think of it, I don't care for anyone that swings too far to the left or right. You can tell all the rappers and straight men in the audience probably had on a stank face when Lil Nas performed. Um, My gay black male friends are not at all token or character, and that has allowed for me to learn so much and have a true portrayal of how they live, love, and exist in the world. Hey Regina, what's going on? How do you feel about what Tammy Roman said about her daughter's girlfriend? I didn't even hear. I don't even know what she said. I don't follow Tammy Roman. I want no parts of Tammy Roman. I've never liked Tammy Roman. I'm just being honest. Going all the way back to the real world, never liked her. Never, never, never liked her. But so it's so. I would venture to tell you, so little. See, the thing about it is, think about, and I know this from being a teacher, okay? Think about just being a black person and so much of our own history of black people, or genuinely who we are culturally, and some of the traumas that we face and some of the things that have shaped our culture, beliefs, and all that, who we are, we don't know, has gone unsaid, has gone mistaught, and has gone um adjudicated and judged by the mass as if it's wrong. Everything that we do is wrong, and yet you steal it and you make it yours, and now it's right. That's something that we as a black community have had to face, okay? Just being black people. You know how many people said that prior to the last year and a half, they'd never heard of the Tulsa Massacre? Never heard of it, much less all of the other ones. Some people were alive for massacres, i.e., Philadelphia, and they still didn't know. I'm saying all of this to make a point. The point that I'm making is, if we as black people still have so much to do and learn about who we are and what makes us us, so we can just live and be left the hell alone. You compound that with being a member of the letter people, and there basically being no history, zero history. There's little to no real analysis of that community and where it's been, how it got to where it is now, and so forth. You've had to hide in the shadows for so long. That makes up who and what a part of being who you are is. Now, the powerful thing about the Lil Nas X's of the world is the fact that we do get to see someone that could just go out there and just be on television and do these things and don't have to apologize, even though they're going to make him apologize anyway. But I've seen people say, "Oh, why you're going to have children that are watching this, and he shouldn't be doing that." And kid, oh, he probably should be doing that in front of kids. He should. Technically, now y'all know this is the house of debauchery. I wanted it to be real raunchy and real out of order. It wasn't even that raunchy. It was just a great performance. And the only thing that even made it even remotely sexual or gave people pause was the kiss at the end. And if a kiss is that alarming, then you gonna have yourself a long, long, long life. I mean, you got a whole lot of other problems. But I would like to say this. The first thing that some people have to do is sometimes you have to just be quiet and let those involved have the conversation. Because just like when we sit down as Black people and we talk about anything involving us and concerning us, it's a whole lot of different um beliefs, opinions, ideologies, ways of thinking, notions, and everything. And when white people try to butt in, everybody collectively turns and go, "Hey, bitch, this ain't your conversation. Stay over there and let us have this conversation." Some of this is the same way. Hey, Monk Chip, some of this you see a lot of people that are not Black and not a Black member of the Rainbow Coalition that are infusing their opinions and their notions and ideologies. And I'm looking at those people like, "Hey, whore, love you down. You might be an ally. You might have a whole lot of friends. This is not your fight. This ain't your conversation. I just need you to stand to the side. We will call you over when it's time for you to come over here and help walk with us, go to the parade with us, all of that. Great. But this is a conversation that we need to have." The unfortunate part about it is the people who should be having the conversation within the community want no parts of the conversation. That's just the long and short of it. You know what they want to do? Do what the girls do. They want to go to the club. They want to go to the bar. They want to go to the sex party. They want to get busted down. Even if you sit down and have a conversation, the girl's gonna be doing this. Gonna be on jacked on the phone to see who in the room with them, who they can hook up with after they get after we leave this good, sit down, talk and meet. But I'm being facetious, but not by much. And I do think that whereas there does need to be a conversation where, and I'm not saying it has to be a closed door conversation, and that, like I said, you get allies and people not within the community want to sit and just observe and just take in and listen and let the conversation be had. Great. But the conversation needs to be had, and so many times um people just are not within the community. One, are not here for the conversation. Two, aren't open to real dialogue. And when I say real dialogue, a lot of times people come in, and just because they're quiet and allowing you to speak doesn't mean that they're receptive to what you're saying and really trying to have dialogue. And I think that's what we need to do is just have open conversation and dialogue where you let people speak and you receive what they're saying, and really take in how that may alter what you came there. Because see, a lot of times with dialogue, people come in with their opinions and their vantage points, and they are stuck in them. They don't want to change. They feel like their opinion is right, without doing what dialogue should do, which is, if you're talking and you're having a conversation with me, something that you said may very well make me change my opinion or my thoughts that I had coming in. And if I was never receptive to that, I'm never going to truly listen to what you're saying. And I think that's what happens so much within the community. You got either one, they just don't care enough to be bothered, which isn't going to move the needle and help the community more, or two, they come in there so um beholden to their viewpoints and vantage point, to their opinion, that the conversation is an exercise of futility because there's no meeting of the minds, there's no coalescing, there's no anything. And that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But I will say the generation Z members of the LGBTQIA, Black LGBTQIA community, some of them have no knowledge of what it means to the Generation Zers. They have no knowledge of what it means not to be able to just be out about loud and proud. They have no knowledge of what that means. None at all. And what I don't want to happen, and here's where people don't like parallel between the Black community and the gay community, but civil rights is civil rights, period, and a minority is a minority is a minority. But let me say this, hold on. We as Black people during, I would say, from the time of the late 80s, mid to late 80s, until we had about a good 20-year period until around Obama. Black people were lulled into this false sense of security. Black people started to make a little bit more money. Black people started to go to school more. Black people started to be more influential in culture and music and become owners of this, that, and the third. And, we had our first Black billionaires that came during that time. And, it was, but we were lulled into the false sense of security that because we saw more of ourselves and because we were economically doing better, and because more of our influence was out there, we thought, oh, America isn't as racist as it was during our parents. We've come a long way. And Obama came in office, and some people still were sniffing the Kool-Aid, not seeing that not only was America still racist, but it had gotten even more racist. And I'm saying that for a point. I'm going to get back to the community. And so then you had the Donald Trumps of the world, where the pendulum shift wildly in the other direction. And now the cover has been taken off, and you see the ugly side of America. What was really there the whole time? Although we were, disillusioned enough to think that America was getting better. No, it was getting worse. It was just hiding it better. And I said that because I feel like in the day, my my fear is that with the Generation Zers and with some of the younger members and even some of the millennials, the young members of the LGBTQIA community, specifically the Black delegation, because there is more tolerance, because you have started to see us a little more, and you do see our influence on society. They get in this just false sense of security, like, oh, it is what it is. They just gonna have to accept me. And you could see a pendulum shift where things could take a turn back to how it was when, motherfuckers was being gay bashed and all kinds of other things. There are conservatives out there and laws that are being passed that are trying to take us back to a place where we should not be. And if we don't come together and really start to fight and talk about these things, you'll see more horrible things like Pulse nightclub and horrible things that will begin to happen because the evangelicals and conservative and all of the other people are not here for it. And I don't want them to be lulled into this false sense of security. Let me drop a link because I know y'all been talking a lot and I don't want to um not be open to the conversation. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm coming. I had to go get my laptop. The pew fillers. Don't get me started on them. But I it bothers me that you got some of the people who are within the Rainbow Coalition fighting just as hard alongside the homophobes. They got more to say sometimes, even then, the homophobes are the people who are staunchly against us. It's a curious dichotomy. You also got, I call these people, um, I'm gonna steal this term from um the a friend of mine. They're not hotep, they're gay tep. I said, what is a gay tep? She said, you know, that's the gays that anything straight got to be wrong. So anything that comes out of the mouth of a straight person, especially if they're a straight black person, it's gotta be wrong. And I was like, yeah, I know some of those types. Hey, hey Tamika. That is their bigger. You said, don't we have bigger issues? That is their big issue, Tracy. That's the sad part. That becomes a big issue for them. That is a big issue for some people who you sleep with. Yep. That's why you can have people, Lady Jasmine, dropping out the bushes to second that homophobia and transphobia is just as bad, if not worse, in our LGBTQIA plus community than from it is. It is, listen, I've said this on this channel countless numbers of times. Okay. People group and lump all of those letters together as if they have a collective story, a collective history, a collective agenda, and a collective experience. And those letters do not. Being a black gay man gives you no idea of what it means to be a trans person. They're not equal. They're not equal. Being a gay man has nothing to do with what it means to be a lesbian. They're not equal. They have different experiences. They have different um ideologies and ways of going about things. Rather, and this is how you know, this is why I say society has built their notion of what it means to be black and gay on these two extreme groups. Yeah, hey, peace, love. That's not the norm. That's not the majority of the experience, which is why people get so floored when they hear a lot of black gay men say, I've never hung out with a trans person. I don't have any trans friend. They meet a trans person, this the first trans person I ever talked to or hung out with or spoke to. That's more of the norm than you would probably believe. But that's because they listen to either one, they listen to one vantage point, and they feel like by that one vantage point, that's all you need to know. And that is as asinine as saying the only people that they do it with black people. They usually go to extremes with black people. They either want to talk to the the ones who people call Oreos, black on the outside, white in the middle. Those are the tokens. Or they want to go to somebody that you be looking like, not really. You have to go pick Lasha Quante from over there, who barely made it to ninth grade before she dropped out and don't have no life experiences and still struggling to make it up and they hate every, but that's who you want to go talk to. And she's gonna tell you what it means to be black. There's a whole diaspora of black people in between those two extremes. It's the same way. I mean, it's the same way. I I just really feel like um you got to start, we do as a community do need to start to have those conversations. And like I said, those outside of the community, you're welcome to come in the room. That don't mean you need to sit in a circle and be involved in that conversation, because the conversation needs to happen amongst those involved. And I say that because there's a shared experience that you have within um by being within the community. That is one shared experience that I will say that the letter people have is the hate trade. That hate is for real. And it's not just the hate that happens from outside, it is the struggle from within, from the from some of your earliest thinking, because you've been made to feel like everything you've done is wrong. You've been made to feel like just being you is wrong. And so you have the biggest fights and struggles with yourself than anybody else could ever have with you. And so that's why you see, by the time people do come to the realization where they really, really are willing to tell somebody or express who they are, they'd be like, oh, okay, you know how, could you say, you know how much I had to fight with myself just to realize that I could, be here. I can't begin to tell you, and these numbers are easily looking up. Do you know how many young children within the Rainbow Coalition deals with things like self-mutilation or genital mutilation and different things that they go through as a way to try to um, deal with just some of the mental issues and the mental and emotional trauma and duress that you deal with, just trying to figure out who and what you are. And here's the issue, here's the problem. The problem isn't that you're trying to figure out. The problem is, early on who and what you are, but then when you try to express it, you're told, no, that's not right. No, that's not right. No, that's not right. And so, even though instinctually and naturally your body does things and is who and what it is, some person infuses their own ideology and says, nah, that ain't right. Nope, that's wrong. And so, whereas you think, well, I don't know how to do anything else, that's kind of like what my body is doing. And you're being told, nah, that's wrong. Mm-mm. So now you got to grapple with, well, dog, what's wrong with my body? Like, why am I wrong? Like, why is my brain wrong? And you get brainwashed and you start to think, wait, what's up? And then don't grow up in the black church, because then you start to think, now, did I get chosen for this sick joke that, the big man upstairs is clearly deciding that he's just going to play this big joke on me because I just needed to endure all of this extra. You know what I'm saying? You did it now. You did this now. I ain't do none of it. You did this. But I was selectively chosen to have to endure all of this. And it's just like, I don't think you got to be real cynical to think that the big man upstairs plays those kind of games. You have to be real cynical. Real cynical. So when you got these people, what I do with my cup? Now that I'm about to pour some alcohol in it. Don't judge me. Judge your mama. Don't judge me. But you got to be real cynical to think that that's how the big man works. You also got to be real delusional when you start, and this goes to my people within the community. You try to force everyone, even with me and what I'm saying right now. I'm not here to force anybody to believe anything. But what I am saying is, when you have to be open to the conversations. What's going on, Lex Mac? What's going on, DC? Because you have to be open to a conversation. You have to be open to saying that what I believe, based on what I've been taught and based on what I thought was customary, may not be right. I'm gonna tell you one of the most powerful things that ever happened to me. I took a class in high school. My senior year, I took a class. I had passed Calc AB and BC by the time I got to 12th grade. And I took a class that was multivariate calculus and differential equations. And in that class, my teacher went through 8 whiteboards full of equations, showing us everything we knew about 2 plus 2 was wrong. and that it actually was closer to 5 than it was 4. And we was looking at this man like, you are whacked out of your mind. And he was like, no, I proved the theory. It's very well accepted within mathematics, pure mathematics communities. He said, but the problem is you are so beholden to what you learned in kindergarten that you can't even allow your mind to entertain that what you were told, because you were told that when you were a little boy or little girl, and anything that you were taught when you were a little boy or a little girl must be the truth, because my parents or grandparents could not give me the real truth. Oh no. And I thought about it not just on the level of the mathematical equation, but I thought about it on the level of that is so true. We become so, you know, so hard in our beliefs that, oh no, I was taught this when I was a little boy, so it must be right. I was taught this when I was a little girl, so that must be right. My grandmother and grandfather told me that. My mom and daddy taught me that, so and they can't never be wrong. Oh no. That's why we got whole segments of the white population trying to do away with what they call critical race theory. Dear God in heaven, oh, my cup. Why is my cup? Where is my cup? Oh, right here next to me. My cup was right here the whole time. And I'm over here asking, where's my cup? And my cup been sitting right here the whole time. A mess. A mess. But, and so that goes back to what I said at the beginning of this. There's no such animal as you telling somebody that's black and gay, oh, you need to tell me, are you black first or are you gay first? No, you're neither first. You're just you first. You're just you first. Oh, because I can't take off my black skin, they're gonna always know I'm black. Oh, that's not true. There are a whole lot of black people that can mix in with the white folks. Get off that high horse. Anyway, so we gotta have this conversation. The conversation needs to be had first within the community. It definitely needs to be had first within the community, where we start to talk to each other and have real conversations about some of the things that we do and say and accept about each other that's wrong. That's just wrong. That's just inherently wrong. What I want to put in here. I'll put some of this in here. Yeah. And it's not getting better. Like I said, I was looking at some of the comments that were being left under my Boothang Lil Nas X's um Instagram and Twitter feed when he posted, stuff from yesterday. And it was the community. It was the Rainbow Push Coalition that was leaving some of the worst and most heinous comments. It was the Rainbow Coalition. And one of my mods dropped the link just in case somebody wants to come in. What y'all think? I could be totally wrong on this, but I do think that some of the most vocal voices on these issues are always the extremes in those two different groups that we talked about earlier, the caricatures and the tokens. And those are the people who everybody want to listen to. The sad part about black people being harsh on one another, Jason, is that's something that we learned, or that's something that was beat and bred into us by the people from the Caucasus Mountains. I'm not saying that we don't have a part into it as well, but that was something that certainly came from the people from the Caucasus Mountains. That's true, DC Fist. Some of the members in our own Rainbow Coalition, they're jealous because they wish that they could have that level of freedom instead of celebrating that now we have someone who can just be on stage kissing up on a cute little, hot little man and can just be out there and just be as sexual as he wants. And let's be clear, let me take that out of it. That performance yesterday was not sexual. Not at all. That was not sexual. That wasn't sexual. That was a real cute performance. I noticed from the beginning. At first, I didn't know that it was a nod to Remember the Time when he first came on. But then, even before the dance break, they had during the beginning part, they had the little routine where they were doing the routine from Michael Jackson's Remember the Time. I said, wait a minute, I know that. I know that. I said, and it dawned on me, Remember the Time they had the whole dance break in the middle. The dance break in the middle was sickening. I was like, yes, yes, give me life, give me life. The fact that they all had on those MC Hammer, parachute pants type deals. I was looking to see a little print, they must have had on like some compression shorts or some boxer briefs or something. But I was looking to see in the little parachute pants, all circa MC Hammer, whether or not the background dancers was gonna be slanging something. They didn't even have all that going on. You know what I'm saying? They didn't, it was not sexual at all. It was just a great performance. The only thing that could have remotely made it sexual is the kid and the child. A mess. People are a mess. They just want something to talk about. But yeah, we need to have the conversation needs to be had. The Vin Malahi. I don't know if that's Malahi, Malaysia. Hey, L to the chat. I'm new to the channel. Oh, well, thank you for coming over. Thank you for coming over. I don't want y'all to think I'm not hotep, I'm not woke, I'm not, none of that stuff. I'm just here. I'm an intellectual. That's what I am. If you want to know, I'm an intellectual. The other thing about it is, too, this notion that there's some agenda that it baffles the mind when people start to talk about there's a gay agenda. Not for us black gays. Now, if you want to say, and I don't even think there is for the white gays, but if I was to even try to go along with your, insidious and imbecilic notion that there's some type of agenda, that would be from the branch of the Rainbow Coalition that is descended from the Caucasus Mountains. They don't want no parts of our black asses in their agendas at all. At all. The fact that you seem to believe, the fact that you seem to believe that because there are gay people that you are now seeing that's going to, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, cut into the population and the demographics of black people is idiotic at best. I mean, what do we, what? Newsflash, we've been here since the dawn of man. Yet, black people still seem to be, here. If, here's another news flash. Here's some science for you. Here I infuse science. You know what science says? If there wasn't sex and a lot of it happening with heterosexual men and black men and black women, I didn't mean to say gay, but if there wasn't a lot of heterosexual sex happening between black men and black women, guess what you would not have? You wouldn't have gay individuals. You wouldn't have the whole coalition. You wouldn't have the whole coalition. The only way to make a member of the coalition is sex between a man and a woman. Hello. What was your question, peace, love? Are you sapio? No. Yeah, no, 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 no. I'm just, I'm same gender loving. Just give me a man. Give me that XY chromosome. You got to have that Y chromosome. You got to know you have that Y chromosome. Okay. Shit. A DC fist, that's very hard. It's hard to live just being black, much less being black and gay. I mean, you're a black gay man. You got to worry about walking down the street and getting, or riding down the street and having the police bother you, or you got to worry about walking down the street and getting gay bashed by the black dudes in the block. So either way, you walking in fear the entirety of your life. Dear God. I remember this boy in my neighborhood. I was growing up. Real sad story. And looking back at it, he probably was dead. He's not dead. He's not dead or anything. But I ain't see him after this. So you got this young man who probably wasn't overly masculine, but he was just a little boy. We was like 8 or 9. And we was on the block. I grew up in the hood, just to let you know. We was on the block. So I remember he was with, I'm not gonna say his name, but I remember we was going, what was we going? I think we was going to the corner store to go play. You know how they used to have the little arcade games at the corner store. So we were gonna go play at the corner store, play the arcade games at the corner store. So we walk in. And so in my neighborhood, in my neighborhood, you had to go through the alley. There's an alley over there, and there's a lot of drug deals happening in the alley or whatever. They used to have, they used to post up in the alley, sell and serve, groups of a whole lot of men serving drugs, a lot of I'm not gonna say toxic masculinity, but a lot of displays of aggressive masculinity. So he was walking up, we was all going, being kids or whatever. So we stopped because one of them, inevitably you can't just walk because some group or several of the groups on each different block might stop y'all and say, "What's going on?" Da da da. All of that, this, that, and the third. I saw your sister. Oh, I saw your sister. I saw you. I'll tell your sister. I said, "What's up?" Tell your aunt. I said, "What's up?" All of that. So one, I almost said the boy name. I guess looked too hard or stared too long at one of the dudes, and the dude was like, "Oh, why you staring at me that hard? You must be a insert word. You a insert word dot 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 dot." And so he comes over and hits him in the chest, bam, and pushes him in the ground. He was like, answer me. Are you a dot 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 dot?" And we are looking in fear because we little boys, and these are all grown ass men. Okay, knowing any fight that we put up could either be met with resistance physically or met with resistance because they carry 3 or 4 guns apiece. And the boy didn't answer, I guess, fat, and they just started beating on the boy. They beat him so bad. And the boy mama stayed a couple blocks down. So um one of my friends went to go get his mama so she come get it because the boy at that point was bloody. So the mama came. The mama had about 8 kids, and he was like number 7 of 8. So he was one of the younger kids. So, and the boy older brothers came with the mama, and the mama and the older brothers started beating on the boy as well, saying that's what you get. It was a mess. It was a mess. Needless to say, I don't know what happened to him. The mama did not move, but we didn't see the boy no more. We didn't see him in school. We didn't see him on the block. We didn't see him in the neighborhood at all after that day. I don't know if she had him go move with another relative or something. But I remember, and that's not the only incident that I have. But what I'm saying is, so many times you ain't doing nothing. You really ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing but just trying to, be a kid. And you would think that we thought we were doing good by calling the mom. And I think his oldest brothers was like the same age as the dudes or whatever. They came over there and started beating on them. It was a mess. It was a mess. We never saw him again. Never saw him again after that. The mom of them still stayed there. We never saw him again. I felt so horrible for him. I felt so horrible. And when you're a little boy and you see stuff like that, and you may have, whatever notions, thoughts, inclinations, or that right there is a powerful, statement of, yeah, fuck off if you want to. It was a safety to life issue. That is a safety to life issue because you not only have to contend with them just physically beating you up, you're talking about people who were known to carry 3, 4, 5 guns on them at any. You carry one in front, one in the back, one on the side, one you shoot, at any given moment. Child. It ain't just Florida, Jason. It is not just Florida. It's not just Florida. But part of me also, when I think back at it, wonders if maybe what if the mom didn't feel like that and she did do like you say, B.R. Burns, come over there trying to say guns are blazing. She was gonna have her one gun when you got it was at least about 6 or 7 of them dudes, each one of them gonna have 2 or 3 themselves. What do you do? What do you do? And then ideally, if you dare try to, put up a fight, now they finna call all the boys. So now you got an extra 15 or 20 people that's joining in on the fight. So now you got to worry about your house getting shot up and all kind. And it sounds like you put 20 or 10, and I'm really not. I'm telling you, it's somebody who lived in this kind of fuckery. That is not putting 20. Those things happen all the time. Be like, you heard all them gunshots last night? Yeah. What happened? Oh, house got shot up. Oh, her brother was doing such and such. Her sister, his sister was dot dot dot. Just stupidness. Stupidness. But y'all worried about somebody tongue kissing somebody. Mind you, you got coochie juice falling out all over the stage. Just falling out. Coochie juice falling out all over the stage. Where do we go? Where do we go? So when I ask the question, am I black or gay first? I'm definitely not going to tell you I'm black first. Definitely not going to tell you that I'm gay first. All of these things simply make up who I am. Period. All of these things make me who I am. Not there's no just one thing that is at the forefront. It all shapes who I am. Because I'm gonna tell you how that conversation gets destructive. What that conversation does is, and there are members of the community that will entertain that level of conversation. When you entertain that level of conversation, what you're allowing someone to do is degrade parts of who you are and make you make a choice. Because then once they get you to say, well, I'm black first, then what they're going to continue down that slippery slope of making you say, oh, it's because you black. And now they can insert all of their notions and ideology of what it means to be black into the conversation. They made you say that because if you don't have a choice of being either one, how can you say, oh, it's this one before the other one? Because you didn't have a choice in being either one. It's not like you could say, oh, I'm not this anymore. I'm not that. So how are you saying one is you're this before you're that? That doesn't make sense. And what you have done is you've allowed them to put you in this box, and you've allowed them to make you degrade and denigrate yourself. Because what they're going to do then is say, oh, well, since you black first, then you don't need to be worried about what's going on with the LGBTQIA. You just need to be over here worried about the issues that concern just black people, because that's the most important thing. Really? I can't chew gum and walk at the same time, right? Exactly, Jason. Exactly. But that's what they're gonna start to do. That's what they're gonna start to do. It'd be like asking a black female, "Are you a female first, or are you black first?" Hey, Tanya, if imagine being a woman and somebody came to you and said, "Are you black first, or are you a woman first?" You'll look at them like, "Come on now." I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I missed y'all this weekend. I'm sorry I have silly Saturday. I was out of town. I had way too much going on. I couldn't do silly Saturday. I'll be on this weekend, though. I will be on this weekend. We'll be back and more epic than ever. We will be back. I hope y'all have enjoyed the conversation. Though I just had something to say. I wanted to get that out and talk about it, um and say that what are you sorry about, warfare? Y'all saw somebody try to come in earlier and put their cash app in the chat. Did y'all take care of that, Mods? I ain't look. Mods, did somebody take care of that person that came in dropping their cash app? I how you gonna drop your cash app in my chat and they ain't even cash app to me, but you gonna drop your cash app? Did y'all take care of that, Mods? I hope y'all took care of that. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying the conversation. Listen, we have some deep conversations. Now, I will say this, and I'm gonna insert this into the conversation prior to the me departing. But we've had this conversation a couple of times. I don't even know what you're sorry for, warfare. I don't even know what you're talking about. Being so, I don't. I'm so confused. I am confusion. I don't even know why you. Um. Oh, that's a phone call. I gotta take it a little bit. Um. Please be very clear. This notion that some of the hoteps try to put out there. Good evening. I'm 60 and certainly, and I'm sorry, I clearly remember black adults labeling black children as being gay or trying to be white if they spoke good and clear English. Interesting. So because you're what, that was a and I know that's real because I remember hearing stuff like that. Like if you were well spoken or you put the G on the ends of words or you pronounce the last syllable of a word, now you you talking white, which means you must be gay. A mess. A damn mess. But the part that I was going to introduce into the conversation, if you go into the annals of the history of the motherland, Africa, there is endless numbers of African indigenous civilizations and cultures that were homosexual in their everyday life and living. They only had heterosexual sex for the purpose of procreation. All the other times that they were having sex was with the same gender. And it was very well accepted. Matter of fact, encouraged. And that's going back to the motherland. Come on now. Come on now. Not learned. And that wasn't something that was learned from the white people. That came with our own civilization. And then the notion, see now, when you're young, you used to get mad when people say, "Oh, you must be gay. You gay." Now, when you get come into your own and you know who you are, oh, you getting, where's the read? Where's the shade? If you telling me I'm gay, where's the problem? How is that? That doesn't affect you telling me I'm gay? Okay. Right. Next thing you know, you're gonna say I'm black too, or I'm black. Oh, I'm black. Oh, shit, I didn't know I was black. You gay? Oh shit, I didn't know I was gay. I mean, what are you talking about, warfare? Somebody handle that. I don't have this type of energy for whatever you got going on. I can't figure that out. They'll take care of you, warfare. I don't have that kind of energy. Oh, these people are coming in here with their foolishness. Anyway, um, but yeah, there's that notion too. I guess that now the people that don't know no better gonna say, "Oh, but they learned that from the colonizers." No, they didn't. It was always there. You find this all the way going back to the Horn of Africa. Um, don't get me started. Not get me started. I gotta talk about Great Boy. Now, Jason, if you agree to come on and discuss with me, we could talk about Great Boy. Great Boy was such a good book. Great Boy was such a good book. I'm about to start the second book, but if you agree to come on one day live, we could sit and talk about Great Boy. It was such a good book. Mm. Acting white for wanting to do ballet. Oh, because you didn't want to go twerk and throw it back because you wanted to do ballet. That was bad. Okay, we'll set up a time, Jason. We'll set up a time. Great Boy was good. All of the books that is on the book club this year is so good. But Great Boy is good. People just need to learn to mind their business and let others do what they want to do, so long as they ain't hurting nobody. Even though some of us want to be hurt, I mean, Lil Nas X, if you want to come hurt me, come, come hurt me. I mean, I might get into my BDSM side. I don't know. I'm not into that. Anyway, um, y'all heard that, right? Y'all saw it here first. Jason said that he would come on and talk about Great Boy with activate the. You know what? Anyway, um, I probably owe y'all a politics sometime this week, so look for it. I don't know when. Sometime this week we'll do a politics of it all. I'm thinking maybe Thursday. We'll see. Or if something more pressing happens, then I'll let you know. So anything else? Let's put some shondos in the chat before we get out of here. Y'all know tomorrow, David Makes Man. Don't look for my review tomorrow night. It probably won't go up until Wednesday morning because I need some. I have to do David Makes Man like I did Lovecraft Country, where I have to watch it the first time just for me. And then I'll watch it the second time and, write my notes. And then sometimes I'll watch, especially with Lovecraft Country, I will watch it a third time based on my notes and seeing if there was something I needed to go and look for again and make sure I ain't missed. So it takes me a little while to get my those kinds of shows out. David Makes Man, Lovecraft Country, those kind. Yeah, it takes me some time, but those are more so breakdowns. So looking forward to looking forward to it. Anyway, um, well, yeah, I got a lot to cover. I don't really want to cover the Trump impeachment trial, not impeachment trial, dear God, the Trump litigations and all of that stuff going on, because I don't really feel like anything's gonna happen. I'll have a whole 4 hour live breaking it down if and when he is not only indicted but convicted. Hey, M. Dion, I ain't seen you in a while. I'm glad you jumped out the bushes. Where you been hiding? I ain't seen you in a little minute. I'm glad you popped out the bushes. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Child, that might be his boo thing. I don't know. The way he the way he shoved that tongue down that young man's throat. Child, I ain't mad at it. Shoot. You see them lips just trying to get through. We here. We are always there. If you need somebody to talk to, hit me with a DM or email or something. We're here. Or if you just need a good laugh, go watch some of my old reviews of shows that I have to go in on. That's what I do sometimes when I need a good laugh. I go watch a old review of my Love and Hip Hop Atlanta's. Those are the ones that make me laugh the most. My Love and Hip Hop Atlanta reviews. I go and watch one of them and just get my whole life laughing at my damn self. Oh boy. Anyway, I guess this is the part where I do my closing. Let's see how well y'all know me. What's the first thing I say when I'm closing out? What's the first thing that I say? I'm gonna let y'all give me my script. See if y'all can write my script for me, my closing script. See if y'all can do. See how well y'all been watching. If y'all knew what I'm about to say. I don't see nothing in the chat. That means y'all don't know the close. Oh, I thought y'all knew me better than that. Oh, look at Vovo. Vovo said, I've been around here way too long. You ain't gonna get me like that. Watermelon Sugar said, uh. They're like, we've been here way too long. Uh-uh. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you all for any and every contribution that you make to the channel. That's all I got for y'all now. Thank y'all for coming. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.